is from 1984, and it's a photo of a pledge drive at Wisconsin Public Radio. Our first pledge drive at WPR was in 1979, and we had to do it because state and federal funding sources were drying up, and we had to find a way to help save public radio. So who came through for us but our wonderful listeners? And in 1984, this picture is great because you can see the low-tech way we were doing things. It was all paper, of course, paper and pen, and old phones and all that sort of thing. It's great to see these old photos. Here's a little bit more of a close-up. Our great volunteers at Wisconsin Public Radio, and I'm wondering where these folks are now. This was from the early 80s, it looks like, and the dial phones, of course, we were using, and the volunteers were taking pledges for us. By this time, we'd had a few pledge drives under our belt, and listeners were really coming through for us and helping us to fund public radio, all the programs that they love. Now that's a picture of Phil Corriveau, and he was our CEO for some time and was the CEO on the scene, present, in 2004 when we broke the $1 million mark for listener support during a pledge drive. It was a huge moment, and you can see it in this picture. Look at the big moment that we were having. We were all so thrilled that our listeners came through for us, and we all got together and cheered and partied. And partied. And partied. We had a good time, and we're so thrilled that our listeners, again, were there for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our listeners. Wow, this was in 2005. Here we were trying to do a pledge drive. Our volunteers are in there, and the power went out in Vilas Communications Hall in Madison. And what were we going to do? The phones actually still worked, but the lights were gone. So we got candles. Yes, of course, resourceful we were, and carried on with the pledge drive. And we had a few tired folks and people helping us out with sort of the stress of the drive. There's a great image of somebody getting a massage. It really helped when people came in and helped us out with all that stress. And you look pretty stress-free there. I think the drive was over. Once again, a really successful pledge drive, having a good time. So pleased that our listeners were there for us. And here's a good example, too, of how technology had changed. You can see that we are now using computers, laptops, and we still have volunteers in helping us. And that's, again, Phil Corriveau, the CEO, taking a pledge right there in the white shirt. Oh, man. Pledge drives are nothing if not tiring. And I have to tell you about that quilt. Our staff members got together, and maybe some volunteers too, and each did a quilt square of one of the programs on Wisconsin Public Radio. And it's a beautiful quilt, and it still hangs in the lobby at Wisconsin Public Radio in Vilas Hall. And there we are, pooped out, done in, exhausted. That's, I believe, again, Phil Corriveau, our CEO, pretty much done for the day. And we did get gifts from our listeners, people who wished us well. And this, I believe, was from the Edible Arrangement Company. They were very supportive of us and sent us a beautiful edible arrangement. And at the bottom it says, "Enjoy, you deserve this for a successful pledge drive. For those on air and behind the scenes, you're a part of a winning team that makes Wisconsin very, very special." And I think Wisconsin Public Radio makes Wisconsin very, very special. So we really appreciated that vote of confidence.
Can I add one more question? For the next 20 years, how important is listener support is?
Listener support will be even more important in the next 20 years. We all know the political environment we're in right now and the difficulties with state and federal budget funding. And so there's no question that listeners will need to be more and more supportive of what they love at Wisconsin Public Radio. And we hope that we will provide you with the programs that you love so much, you will decide to support them yourself as well. And we really appreciate it so much. Thank you.